practice? I know you had some of those secret scrimmages. What have you liked about the team? What have you learned so far about this UCF basketball team?
This team has a really high basketball IQ. They're very, very unselfish. They're very willing listeners and learners. Obviously, all you guys have mentioned at some point in time during this interview the challenges we may face with all the new people. But that learning curve has been, I think, effectively shortened by the great attitude and the attention to detail this team's provided. So I like the trajectory that we're on right now.
Can you expand a little bit on what Coach Norris said about he sees better chemistry at this point in the season?
Yeah, and someone asked about team building activities as well. I mean, we go bowling together, we go to movies, we go to Topgolf, we get together. Coach mentioned some character building classes. We do a lot of things together by design that we orchestrate as a staff, but these guys also do things together away from the court. And we always talk about the best teams, what commonality they might have. The best teams are always the player-led teams. I think with a very new group, we have a great group of guys that are stepping forward. And it's usually your older guys. And, in the new portal age, we're getting guys that are 22 and 23 years old that have had success at other institutions. They've been through the battles. They understand what it's going to be like when you hit the beach at Omaha.
Coach, you mentioned a lot of stuff about the disadvantages of new faces and stuff like that. Are there any advantages you enjoy because that's the situation?
Well, they all love us. I mean, we've not been together very long, okay? And so, again, they are very attentive, not to be redundant. They come to learn. It's a new experience for some, so they're somewhat like a sponge, and hey, they're listening to stuff they may not have heard before or a different angle, and they're open to it. Okay, so that's a very positive thing. We've enjoyed that. This has been a really, really fun group. I've done this. I'm beyond 40 years now, and this is a really unique group. I'm very excited about what we have going forward.
Coach, how much? You talked about the portal a little bit. How much has the portal really changed how you guys go out and recruit? Whether you go hit the high schools more, or is it you rely on the portal a little bit more to bring in guys?
Yeah, the dynamics certainly have changed. There's no doubt about that. You can be more selective with your high school recruiting because your safety net is the portal, and you want to know, okay, I'm going after the very best, and you hit, that's great, okay. And when you talk about playing at the level we're playing at, you want to hit on guys that are going to be immediate impact guys and have a chance to play beyond your university. If you don't hit on those, then you're going to get somebody coming the second time around. So that's kind of the thought process, and it's unfortunate really for a lot of the high school guys, but it's the state of the union.
What would you like to see?
Recruiting right now, it's going to be the Big 12. They're going to, whoever you recruit for 23, their first season is going to be in the Big 12. So what's been the response and the reception like as you go out and recruit with that Big 12 tag?
We've always been received well at UCF, but you know we're in a different game now, okay? Kids left our area before because they wanted to go to the Power 5, so we became the Power 6 and came from that angle. But there is a difference, call it what you will. Maybe that's a football originating term, the Power 5. I know Villanova was in the Big East and had a lot of success with basketball. I know Gonzaga's had a lot of basketball success. They're not in the Power 5. But certainly other programs can too. But there is that stigma that is associated with recruiting that has kind of been something we've had to overcome, and I don't think we have to deal with that anymore.
What would you like to see Darius do to improve upon his game this season?
Darius Johnson?
Yes.
Did you ask a question about the starting five too? Somebody did.
Yeah, I asked you that
okay.
question.
Yeah, obviously he came on midway through the year last year. Very tentative in the early part of the year offensively. That evolved, and he took more of a offensive approach to his game. His job as a consummate point guard is to make other people better, but he evolved into a scorer as well, and that's a unique ability from the point guard position. What we would like to see him do a little bit better is make sure that he's in charge of what is going on that court and the message that came from Coach Dawkins to him. Again, cliche extension of the coach. He's got to be our quarterback. He's got to be that guy each and every day. He's got to understand his value to our team. We need him on the court. He can't pick up silly fouls. He's got to learn how to manage himself in that area because he's a physical guy. And he's the kind of guy that other guys like to come at because he presents such a challenge to them. So he can't get into individual fights. He's got to think team. He's got to think Coach Dawkins. And we got to go that way with him. If he does that, he's going to have a very enjoyable season. So we.
Coach, who on this team that you don't have to necessarily brought up a lot that you think is in store for a big season?
I'm sorry, you said bring up. There's some names that maybe we haven't brought up. Is that what you said?
Yes, like Darius Johnson, CJ Walker. You know, people have been talking about them. But who's somebody that maybe hasn't been discussed a lot, or that you think is in store for a big season?
Well, you know, our portal transfers, Ithiel Horner, C.J. Kelly from Pittsburgh and UMass. Again, experience is the greatest teacher, okay? So they brought that in here. That helps them. Taylor Hendricks, someone mentioned earlier, highly touted recruit, has not disappointed. He's still a freshman. He's still learning. But there are things that he can do that we can't teach. And he's very long. He gets off the floor well. He's a great teammate. And again, that's kind of resonated and filtered through our team. They like each other. But Taylor is a very likable guy. And guys don't mind throwing him the ball because, A, he is a good player, but B, he is a good guy too. So that makes it easier. So Taylor's done well. Lehat Toon has played with a lot of activity and a lot of energy in our 2 rehearsals and had a really nice weekend this past weekend. So we're excited about him. And then, you know, there's a lot of variables, you know, nicks and bruises here and there, and guys are in and out of practice. So you throw that into the mix, and then we've got to evaluate each and every day on who's going to be there consistently, not who's there today and who's there tomorrow. We got to get more up here. So that's what we're trying to figure out. No fault of anyone's. It's just the process. All good?
What do you think is the biggest difference between this team when they first got together and the team that you see now?
Wow. We had a hard time talking to each other because we weren't sure. You've been to that party before where they don't have name tags, right? And you're trying to figure out, I think I know that guy, but I'm not really sure. And so you don't want to strike up a conversation or we just didn't know each other. We didn't know, you know, who was a clown. We didn't know, you know, who was a serious dude and who not to mess with and who to hang out with and all that kind of. But, you know, everybody's kind of let their guard down a little bit. We're becoming more of a family. It's a lot of fun. It really is. They're good guys, and I'm encouraged by what we see early and really looking forward to moving into next week, November 7th. You know, not far away.